After this episode, you'll stop asking, why am I like this? And start understanding my body is responding to something my mind has already tried to move past. Welcome everyone to Unfiltered Soul Shift. Good to have you here. Have you ever caught yourself reacting in a way that just doesn't match the moment? Not slightly off, but completely disproportionate. Your chest tightens, your tone shifts, and literally you shut down or you snap. Almost immediately, your mind steps in with the thought like, this isn't even a big deal. Or why am I doing this again? So here's the truth most people don't say clearly enough, but I'm going to say it today. You are not reacting to the moment. You are reacting to something your body hasn't finished processing. Because the mind moves on, but the body keeps score. So let's start at the top, right? Let's strip this back to what it actually is. We've spoken before and probably will again about somatic memory. Now, somatic memory is how the nervous system stores the experience within our body. So, not as thoughts, but as sensations and patterns. So, even when you've reflected or you've already processed and you've understood, your body may still respond as if the experience is happening again. And it's frustrating. The truth is, that is the gap that most people live in. I know better, but I still react the same. I've done all this work. Why am I reacting the same? And the assumption becomes, I must be stuck. There must be something wrong with me. Listen, you're not stuck. You've only just worked at the level of the mind. And insight, mind work doesn't always equal regulation. So at this point, you should be able to name your triggers, understand some of your childhood patterns. This is something I still struggle with because I don't remember most of my childhood. And now some people will end up saying, yeah, it means you had a traumatic childhood. I didn't. I had some trauma experiences, but it wasn't all traumatic. My mind just chooses not to remember. And that's also something everyone has to work through in order to understand why, right? So understand your childhood. And by doing so, by naming your triggers, you should be able to start seeing your patterns and even explaining your patterns. Now, I don't mean explaining to the outside world, I mean explaining to yourself. And still, at times, you do all of that correctly, but still at times you overact or you shut down or you feel overwhelmed in the same moments. Why? Because you're trying to think your way out of a body based experience. And this is where all of our previous work, all of our episodes really just meet. Ultimately, you cannot only discipline your way out of dysregulated nervous system. Control is not regulation. Understanding is not completion. And until the body feels safe, it will keep repeating the signal. So, how does this show up, right? And not in theory. How does it actually show up? So, this shows up by getting triggered by your child and reacting harder than you intended. This is feeling dismissed in a conversation and just shutting down instantly. This is over explaining yourself because something in you doesn't feel secure. And then, right after that, thinking, I thought I dealt with this. And you probably did mentally. But your body is still holding the original imprint. Body often holds what the psyche couldn't fully integrate. Remember that. Most people approach their reactions like problems to solve, right? But where in that are you actually listening to your body? You've been trained to ask throughout your life, what's wrong with me? And we need to start getting into the habit of replacing it with, what is my body trying to protect me from right now? Because there is something. And because every reaction, even the ones you don't like, is a form of protection. It might not always be accurate, but always intentional. And knowing this shift alone removes shame, it increases the awareness of you and others, and it opens the door to change. Now, if we have to take a step back, right, from all the noise, all the reactions, this shift, this embodiment that happens, it's not complicated. It's not aesthetic. It's not time consuming either. What it is you interrupting the autopilot. So it's that pause before the reaction, even if it's a brief pause, even if it's a breath. It's you naming the sensation, being aware and acknowledging, right? So it's not the story, it's not the analysis that comes before or after, it's the sensation. Right now, I've got a tight chest, my stomach is heavy, my face is feeling hot or flushed. That's a sensation. And then comes the hard part, staying in that. And that's where the work comes. So now you've paused before you've reacted. You've named what your sensation is. And now you need to stay with that sensation. That's where the work is. For about 10 seconds, 10 to 20 if you can. And staying in it doesn't mean you're fixing it, doesn't mean you're running away, it doesn't mean you're escaping. But it's in these next 10 to 20 seconds where most people drop the hat, or most people leave. And it's after that, this is how I'm feeling, that you start to regulate. So exhale longer than you inhale. Drop your shoulders, roll your shoulders, shake it out. Place your hand on your chest. Another one I've learned is almost hugging yourself and rubbing your arms, no, by your shoulders. You're not trying to eliminate the feeling. What you're teaching your body is that reaction that's needed or that's happening is not needed right now because it's not happening now. Remember, you don't need more and more awareness. If you're aware at this point, that's it. Practicing that awareness. You need completion. And completion doesn't happen in the mind, it happens when the body realizes, I am no longer that experience. In closing, just remember, you're not someone who overreacts. You're someone whose body hasn't felt safe enough yet to respond differently. And when you stop trying to override it and start listening instead, your reactions begin to change without needing to force it. Because healing isn't control, it's capacity. Until next time, beautiful souls.